100 years of the Great Ocean Road. The marker clicks in the peaceful day-break air as we start our excursion heading out east to west along Victoria's Great Ocean Road. It has been a long time since development started on this public symbol, which was cut into the scene by shell-stunned troopers who got back to Australia exhausted, however needing work. With picks, digging tools and explosive they made a 243-kilometre street which floods along cliff tops, saunters around rough headlands and plunges down to meet the sand. There's a feeling of dreary redundancy that accompanies the tenacious excellence of this excursion. Moderate down, pull over, endeavour to catch the scene on film, fall flat, rehash endlessly. A man checks the surf at Winky Pop, Bells Beach. Latrines are faulty at Bells Beach, Victoria. Chimes beach map realistic. As the initial light looks through mists at Bells Beach, a solitary longboarder sways over approaching swell, sitting tight for a superior wave. An ocean kayaker floats into the Narrows, sliding across the Silver Sea prior to vanishing around the headland. It's here that the customary proprietors, the Wadawurrung public, when assembled and fished off the reef. Indications of food planning are as yet noticeable in an Aboriginal midden, a grouping of disposed of shells. Yet, Bells Beach is likewise an image of the shuffling act governments are yet to dominate, adjusting a delicate climate, defensive local people and a travel industry transporting an ever-increasing number of tourists to the area consistently. In a couple of hours the car park will be fixed with mentors. Surfers will be approached to model for photographs as they change out of freezing wetsuits. The public latrines aren't working, so a group of erratically positioned portaloos should do the trick. It's one of numerous locales along the Great Ocean Road where traveller administrators say the normal excellence takes steps to be usurped by a dreary guest experience. Rainbow over the sea on the Great Ocean Road. A nearby picture of bark on a gum tree. Aries Inlet beacon on the Great Ocean Road. Along the street building works of art sit close to climate-beaten shacks putting away summer occasion recollections that range ages. Steep carports lead down to private oceanfront sanctuaries, while in complement geologies the street walks strongly over salt-shrouded front yards. A century prior, tents were all that development labourers needed to shield themselves from the severe tempests whipping in off the Southern Ocean. In excess of 3,000 men fabricated this street more than 13 years, from 1919 to 1932, finishing many years of disconnection for seaside networks along its course. With the ocean slamming beneath, they brought down themselves on ropes and cut their own tractions before they could direct their concentration toward developing the actual street. Records are problematic, yet it's perceived a few of them kicked the bucket. A gathering of men during the development of the Great Ocean Road. A man on a bluff face during development of the Great Ocean Road. Labourers building the Great Ocean Road. A toll booth once remained at Eastern View, before the street was given over to the state government in 1936 and tolls were cancelled. Today it's anything but a straightforward wood curve which has become the downplayed Great Ocean Road photograph opportunity guests noise for. There are just 16 vehicle leaves, yet in excess of 6 million individuals drive the Great Ocean Road every year, more than twofold the sum who visit the Great Barrier Reef. Voyagers looking for the ideal camera point regularly disregard the admonition signs and walk, camera raised, onto the street. A bronze sculpture endeavours to remind him the Pleasant Street is really the world's longest conflict remembrance. A wad of disposed of bathroom tissue sits on the sandy track to the seashore. Dedication curve at Eastern View on the Great Ocean Road. Dawn over the Great Ocean Road at Anglesey. Guide of Eastern View on the Great Ocean Road. It's late morning and the vehicle maneuvers into Wye River, a town where 98 homes were annihilated in the 2015 Christmas Day bushfire. Wye River General Store Administrator Sean McKinley makes statements are distinctive since the fire. A great deal of the properties and squares changed hands, he says. Halfway course individuals just chose to make a move to continue forward. A few group couldn't stand to modify, weren't protected as expected or by any means. For other people, it was the distance of the spot which got to them. Despite the fact that we're on a truly famous traveller course, we're as yet far off as in there's no administrations around. Everything's a drive, he says. The more seasoned individuals get, the more they believe they should be near administrations. Wye River General Store Supervisor Sean McKinley. A fire peril rating sign at Wye River. A vehicle drives along the Great Ocean Road. As of late, it has been difficult to anticipate exactly what amount of time that drive will require. A roadwork rush, by a long shot the greatest of ongoing many years, is tending to a considerable lot of the designing issues which had been left to putrefy and break. Local Roads Victoria's Paul Northey says ongoing state and government subsidising has permitted his group to supplant spans, re-emerge harmed segments of the street, improve crossing points and complete geotechnical attempts to reinforce the street and balance out the rough slopes. They've sent abseilers down the bluff face to eliminate free shakes and introduced 7 climate stations to help screen soil dampness at high-hazard landslip locales. We're doing our part to proceed with the first digger's inheritance by building a significantly more prominent C Street, he says. This development barrage, alongside the meticulously lethargic speed of revamping fire-smooth properties, is changing towns like Wye River. There's a more predictable presence of the structure business around, Mr. McKinley says. Winters have changed a ton since I went to the space. Roadworks signs on the Great Ocean Road. Transportation compartments line the Great Ocean Road to shield vehicles from falling rocks. A rock wall hindrance worked along the Great Ocean Road. Right external Wye River, a line of transportation compartments line the edge of the Great Ocean Road. Stone formed indents in the metal are a token of the consistently present peril prowling in the antiquated precipices above. In different areas, thick wire netting has been dashed into the stone face in a bid to keep the avalanches under control. Incredible Ocean Road Tourism Senior Supervisor Liz Price says the new financing help has been a hotly anticipated, yet welcome alleviation. Before that, there's been 20 years of under-speculation, so the street was not in acceptable condition, she says. The foundation hasn't actually had the speculation to ensure that it has stayed up with the quantity of guests. Ms. Price gauges that once the therapeutic works are done, the street will require $20 million per year to guarantee it keeps on offering an elite encounter. The roadworks are a bother for local people, yet Mr. McKinley decides to zero in on the positives. It assists you with easing back down and take in the view, he says. The mists reflected in the sea at Apollo Bay. Great conventional. Sightseers assemble in Kennet River to spot koalas. Koala sticks to eucalypt tree. In Kennet River, swarms accumulate on a tight, rock street while transports, minivans and recruit vehicles stifle the neighborhood bistro's small vehicle leave. This average road is a notable koala area of interest, and it doesn't baffle. Follow the look of camera focal points and in only a couple seconds the first of numerous marsupials are uncovered. There's such countless koalas in certain segments of the Otways that lately untamed life officials have been getting females and embedding them with preventative gadgets. Hundreds passed on of starvation after the populace got so huge they ate the sustenance gums exposed. It's a token of the sensitive, difficult exercise needed to ensure the climate while cooking for a thriving the travel industry. It's something Jason Borg is mindful of. The Environment, Land, Water and Planning Department project chief has been entrusted with executing the Great Ocean Road Action Plan. It incorporates setting up an independent position to take over from the numerous more modest organizations at present liable for dealing with their own little fix. The position will be going by 2020 and is entrusted with working out where framework, like leaving, latrines and transport coves, are most direly required. It's anything but a less divided way to deal with framework arranging will prompt a superior encounter for sightseers and local people. That entire waterfront strip is one element in itself and should be overseen like that, rather than municipality by municipality, Mr. Borg says. The guest experience isn't extraordinary in light of the fact that in certain spaces it's packed, there's insufficient framework like latrines. The guests are affecting on the livability of networks. In certain spaces the absence of foundation and developing number of vacationers is as of now putting the climate in danger and causing pressures among voyagers and local people. Individuals are utilizing the climate rather than utilizing a latrine block, Mr. Borg says. The Great Ocean Road at Marengo, Apollo Bay. Truck conveys sand along the Great Ocean Road. Apollo Bay, Great Ocean Road map realistic. Further along in Apollo Bay, there's genuine worry about the endurance of this stretch of seaside street. At Marengo, on the edge of town, sand has been trucked in to recreate the vanishing seashore. The normal disintegration, exacerbated by significant winter storms as of late, is taking steps to take the street with it. Melbourne University's David Kennedy, a partner teacher in waterfront geomorphology, says choices should be made now about whether to focus on the seashore or the street. In segments where the bitumen sits on top of the sand rises, it may not be feasible to keep both, he says. You need to protective layer the coastline if the street is the need, he says. Or on the other hand, assuming the seashore is the need, you must glance at, say, moving the street into another position. One approach to protection the coastline is assemble a sort of Great Ocean Wall. However, Professor Kennedy cautions any hard design will expand disintegration around it. So while a divider may save the street from the infringing sea, it would almost certainly bring about the deficiency of the seashore. My regular tendency is focus on the normal landforms, he says. Preferably we'd shift the street, that would be the best circumstance, yet in a monetary region that may not really be attainable. The other alternative, which is the thing that they're beginning to do, which is very acceptable, is entirely move the sand, attempting to remake the seashore. He says intense choices can't be put off any longer. There's no wizardry shot that will fix it, he says. A perplexing region, yet it's one should be possible with acceptable, incorporated waterfront. The board groups line the survey stages at the 12 Apostles. Chinese understudies Mary Wu and Kei Zhu visit the 12 Apostles. Travelers line up at the 12 Apostles. The 12 Apostles, or the 8 which remain, are the main vacationer location on the Great Ocean Road. There's a little guest place, latrine block, car park and a protected walkway under the street, yet this fiercely well-known site is as yet perceived as the one most needing better vacationer framework. Indeed, even on a snowy Tuesday evening the review stages are jam-stuffed. The current experience is disappointing, Ms. Price says. It doesn't offer in any capacity whatsoever a top-notch insight. Global postgraduate understudy Kei Zhu is visiting the site with her companion Mary Wu, and says the Great Ocean Road is a notable objective in China. The guardians of global understudies from China, they generally think about the Great Ocean Road, she says. So it's very popular. Online media locales including Instagram, Facebook and WeChat have developed its fame. In view of their photographs I'm truly able to come here, she says. I think driving along the ocean and getting a charge out of the new feast and the incredible touring is truly unwinding. A nearby picture of a plant. Ranchers line the Great Ocean Road close to Lava's Hill. A transport adjusts a curve on the Great Ocean Road. The Great Ocean Road was constantly intended to be a traveler objective. At the point when Geelong City Hall leader Howard Hitchcock supported the thought over 100 years prior, he proclaimed, "It's anything but a dedication to profit offices and offer delight to a great many travellers." Be that as it may, even Councillor Hitchcock, who, when public memberships faded, contributed £3,000 of his own cash to guarantee labourers were paid, would have battled to imagine the achievement of the worldwide promoting effort which has made this a worldwide the travel industry objective. The travel industry supervisors like Ms. Price say in spite of long periods of persistent underinvestment, the Great Ocean Road has surpassed all assumptions. The guest economy is a huge business, she says. It's anything but a stunning, astounding inheritance from those World War I warriors dealing with the street. Much obliged for watching. Bye now.